Hello everyone, and welcome on my lecture, which named Dual Realities, Level Design for Diverse Playstyles in the Virtual Reality. I really honored and pleased that you're coming to my lecture. It's my first time when I get in public in the audience, so I hope it will just go everything well. So let me quickly introduce how the lecture will be built, what we will discuss, and I divided it in some such levels. Like in the first part, I will just talk about myself a little bit. Then we will compare the production of the level of the level design to the flat screen games and for the virtual reality, because from my experience, I have experience to develop for the boss kind of the games. After that, we will talk about multiple characters gameplay styles, a little bit about cooperation, how we should divide it, what problems you can expect. After that, we'll move to the our game, which I present today from the firm The Play With Fire, which is named Mixture. I will just introduce and hope you enjoy also our games that we developed earlier in this year. And as the last steps, I will talk about a little bit testing the design, what measurements we introduced while development, and what I also strongly recommend to use it, how to test exactly design, not the overall performance or bugs. And yeah, as a final boss, I will hope to your some interesting questions. So my name is Zosym. I'm a game and level designer with almost over the 4 years of experience in the game development. During my journey, I had the pleasure to work in multiple companies with great people, and yeah, we also already published some projects. Actually, Tank Squad will be published really soon. So it's also a cooperative game. So hope you just take a note and check it also. And a part of this, I'm the author of my personal blog, which named Gamecraft Chronicles, which I provided on the LinkedIn and Instagram. So I also hope you will enjoy my presentation. Maybe we can just keep in contact for the future collaborations. So just for people who maybe first time attended the lecture of level design, or maybe not familiar much about what are we doing, I will just have also a quick introduction what is level design, and also from my perspective. And as for me, the first of all, designers are just communicate with players on the intuitive and maybe non-verbal version of communication. So we just talk on the intuitive way to the players, know what they should do and what they can do. Actually, player abilities, it's also what designers should provide and show at the maximum potential, because all of the games are propose a big amount of incredible mechanics and experience, but you need to also know how to introduce them to the player, and just to get maximum of it. And also, yeah, the levels are putting the rules on your game world, and it's a great way to just to put the storytelling, to talk about your plot and fabula in the game. So basically, that's the must thing that firstly come to my mind when I'm talking about level design and what we are doing there. And the simple yeah, the simple example was to interact the Monopoly. I hope everyone wants this game. And basically, if we just look on the map, we can have a bunch of the questions which are won't have answers if this map, this level could be not be designed in that way, so player just can read and look what he can actually do. Yeah, so basically this starting point, you know, that this starting point, if you just will not have it, the player can just wonder, where should I start, where should I move, maybe I can go more horizontally or diagonally. So basically these things are the greatest example of the level design in the real life or just in the board games. And yeah, so basically let's talk about differences that I met in development the levels for the flat screen games and for the games in the virtual reality. And first of all, it's level metrics. Just because of the case that virtual reality is real effects on the vestibular system of the players. We as a designer need to keep this in mind, just because the movement speed of the playing the games like on the PC is it can be really different, and different players can affect on it and get it in different ways. So for someone it could be really uncomfortable to move really fast in the VR. They can just started to feel in bad, and that's why most of the levels, of course it depends on your setting of the game, but most of them really are smaller than some big levels from the huge games. Um, and despite of that, VR provides a lot of unique experience of playing the game, and you need to also consider that it's not going to be like small level just for moving and feeling good, but you still need to remember about all your mechanics that you put on the level, and they should be integrated so well that not just mixing everything. And one of the things that I'm missing when I'm doing the levels for the VR, it is the uphill and downhill movement, just because, as I mentioned before, like that vestibular system, and player can feel uncomfortable just to going up continuously. So developers need to innovate some new mechanics, some new approaches and ways to just to change and use these tricks, but with some another proper ways that they will just acceptable for their players. And one of the great example that I want to share, it was provided in Horizon Forbidden West, when in the PC version of the game you had really huge locations when you can use some dashes, you can use some long jumps, a lot of scripted animation actions, which were really dynamic. And that's the things in most cases you want to avoid in the VR, because it is not really comfortable to move in, like to have sharp camera angles and just positioning player in different ways. And they just to make them their game on the VR platform, so they just had another VR version of the game, and they rebuilt of their levels, so it wasn't just like a simple port and the same level, the same mechanics available, but they created another game which was like the landmark over there on the PlayStation. And there we can see already another way of climbing. It is everything more manually, so that's why players can feel more comfortable with smooth moving to the uphill, or moving to the down. And just providing like this innovative way, using elevations. It was a nice experience, a nice example that the guys have done. And about gameplay mechanics and what we are all love like VR games, because we can experience this unique mechanics that are available only in VR. And it's talking about interactions like physical, tactile, which can just change your just overall approach to the making games. And basically, even now on the big titles, you have to perform some actions, but most of the movement can be just scripted, so maybe on some unlocking door or some another actions will be just performed by your interaction with some gameplay environment, but it is still animated, and VR can provide to make it everything by yourself. So we can just put the hand in the different way and just open some doors, and that's the feeling, that immersion, that's the one of the main ideas. And and yeah, pillars of the VR game. Yeah, so basically having this kind of possibility to use the small things, some props, we need to remember to give them to the player, because I guess everyone were just playing first time in the VR game. He in most cases just took some cup and just shatter it just because it's unique, and it is really simple. It's really simple action, but it gets so much interesting feeling and exclusive way of playing. Mm, and yeah, one of the good examples that I met that were done the guys from the Valve in the their guide Half-Life Alyx. It was simple mechanic, but it was good, and that's what about VR, when you can just take some marker and draw everything that you want on the windows on some boards, and that's which will not which is not available on PC versions of the game. So this all of the things are really making VR games like so much unique and interesting. But of course, everything has his own good and bad sides, and we are, despite of the continuously evolving and just integrations, the new methodologies, new things in their performance, they're still a little bit like behind the PC and last console generations. And this is also the key thing that we as a designer need to remember when to design in the levels, because you can just meet some problems that you won't meet in the developing the flat screen games, like limit access to dynamic lighting. It is I personally really like to move the player with some dynamic lighting on the map, or just creating some interesting atmosphere in the area that the player is. But yeah, in the VR, unfortunately, we need to really limit this approach. And as another example, it's also about using the assets and the environment, just because high quality assets and the big amount of them can really perform on the overall experience of the smoothness of the player. So it's also things that you need to remember, and trying to get avoid it's better on the beginning, and just not to get troubles on the final stages of your production. um, yeah, and that's also what I recommend, and trying to use that some key assets that you want to provide the player on your level, so the player need to know that this box or this color asset will just provide him, or to tell him his way he should move on. That's also because the problem I mentioned earlier. You just need to, at the beginning or at the earlier stages of the project, you need to just define and already like pay this performance. But it's better to know at the start. And yeah, now let's talk about the next section. Is about cooperative gaming. Cooperative gaming, or like multiple characters gameplay, and I will discuss it in the detail in the moment. So first of all, let's talk about common things that we can expect developing the levels for the single player and for the multiple characters gameplay. Of course, it's clear objectives. Despite it doesn't matter what kind of the gameplay style overall you have, but the level should have clear objectives. Player should know what he need to do, what he can do, where he need to go, and why he is on the level it's at all, what he's doing there. Story integration is also the common thing, and it's really great to put your story during your level atmosphere, level environment. Later, I can spoiler it a bit. We'll talk about God of War, and I really like how they implement the story just in case of struggles, puzzles, and challenges that the characters made. And yeah, it will be an example of the thorough integration in the cooperative way. Resource management is also the same thing. Every people like to explore, and let them explore your amazing worlds. So, but also don't forget about rewarding them for it, just to give them open some new locations and get some cool features and bonuses that you provide to them for their time spending. And replayability, it is also the thing which probably more common also in the cooperative games, because when you have different play styles, you can different opportunities to pass your level. So of course, just try to think how you can do it in the few ways. So it will just increase the replayability of the level, which will just also good effects on the overall experience of the player of your project. And now we'll talk about some challenges that we can face as the designers when developing the cooperative playstyle in our setting. And first of all, let's talk about game design. Yeah, first of all, cooperative gaming is it itself, it is just harder and tougher, and to the design and to play it as a player, because when you provide a different amount of characters, all of them should have their unique abilities, and that's the key feature of really interesting cooperative way of playing. When you just if you provide it, let them player to play and use all of the abilities and skills in purpose of the all characters. It is really bad practice as to have some game when which positioning as a cooperative, but you can actually pass it and play it as with only one character. So yeah, it is really it could be tough, but you have to put your time and pressure on making the unique abilities which will just complete each character that you provide to the game. And it provides also another complexity to the player, just to learn and understand each character, understand his playstyle, understand his possibilities, and how he can use it in the proper way. So of course, yeah, it could be some challenge, but it is what players actually expected, and I will talk about it in a moment. But let's switch to the level design. And level designers should also take attention to put their levels in such way that it would be interesting for all of the available mechanics that you provide to the game and that you offer. So it's also need to have more plans of how you design in the way how you design in your levels in that way that players need to use all of the available features to them, and just not to forget about something interesting. Um, the next one, it is yeah, basically it's just continuation of my thing about just to be engaged through the whole through the whole characters, just because yeah, it will fine if you're playing on one character and then you need to switch to another character, and you feeling that you need both of them to pass the level, and that's main reason and key feature of the cooperative playing. And yeah, just of the switching these characters is also key. So just try to test and figure out if you're not forgot about some of your gameplay styles at all, what you're focused on. And the last thing that I want to share is that it shouldn't be it shouldn't afraid that people will just can blame, or they can the game should be can be hard for them, because actually yeah, we've faced that problem and had some comments like yeah, the game is really hard, yeah, I need to focus on the boss players. But actually that's the main thing also of the cooperation, and people when just want to play the game that provides different play styles, they actually want to experience it. So it will be really a bad sign if you're proposing multiple characters and their abilities, but actually you don't need them, and you can just easily pass the level just only with one skill set. And here is one of the example of from the Portal 2, where you can see one of the just levels when you're playing cooperatively. It's like the big room which is divided by the wall, and each player can have each player has his own permissions and requirements what she need to do on his side of the level, and both of them should cooperate in that way to pass this level. So like they need to open the portals on each side in the proper way to send the things and stuff they want to share. Yeah, when designing also just keep in mind that you have to design these stories and these situations when you just need to receive some help from one character and from another, and like all of them has his own responsibilities which he need to do with, and that would create an amazing experience in the cooperative. And yeah, about paving and downbeats, I guess paving is also one of the primary tools of the level designer's arsenal. And in the co-op context that we met, you need to just remember that basically you can have the similar approach to balance your level, to balance the difficulty of your level. But one of the key things that you need to think about different characters. Yeah, so you need to just put the challenges for each abilities of the character, have a graph for them, and after that I will just look overall experience of the boss character you can put as the main difficulty of this level. Gating. Just quickly have some drink. Uh, Okay, so gating, it is also one of the common things that we used while designing the level, and it just performs and gives to slow down a bit the progress of the player, just to feel him comfortable in the one big area and use all of the available features that the game provides to him. It is also a good way to optimize your production, not to just making 10 big areas or 10 actually small areas where player just spend for 5 minutes and just pass to the next one. But it is a good way to have one big area which will have a lot of different puzzles, challenges, and just to create one bigger good location which you can explain to the character as one of the story key feature. And as I mentioned, yeah, one of this example I want to introduce the God of War. I really liked how they had that puzzle design and how they put all of the struggles and challenges into their storyline, into the telling, and just showing the relationship between characters. I don't know how much people also just enjoy the game and play it, but at the beginning you just have tense relations between like the father and son, and during the whole gameplay process, during the different challenges and missions they need to do like in the cooperative way, they need to pass it together, the relationships are growing and keep improving. So it's also was really nice to see how these challenges can just make them closer. And as of our one example, how to create a good gating level which have this feature. It is like in our game, and we will just smoothly go into the mixture. We have like two characters, and you can just divide the puzzle, the overall puzzle, into three parts, giving the opportunity to use the skills of the first character. Then after he's passing his responsibility, you can just move to the second character, and as the final solution, just try to make the situation to have both of them at the same time, and it will feeling better as also for the cooperative moment of the game. And yeah, as I already mentioned for a little bit, it is about combining the mechanics and like skills division. It is really important to have all of your characters as one piece. So it shouldn't be like autonomous play styles that you can just, okay, you have a bunch of nice skills from the one side, and you can easily pass the level or just play with fun, and you have another way of passing these levels, but they actually need to create overall um, one overall performance and one overall gameplay experience. And let's maybe just switch to the mixture, and on our real example we'll say how we do it in our project. So basically, first of all, maybe someone already has experience to play on the mixture, or it's totally a new game for you. Okay, so it's already it's already good. Yeah, but quickly introductions that like the game is based on the VR, the virtual reality, in the cooperation between the two characters, which you had the knight and alchemist. The alchemist have to create and cast all of the mixtures and spells. You're just playing with the both hands of the alchemist, which can help to the player pass some challenges, pass the level, is helping to defeating the enemies, while knight is used for actually fighting with the enemies, is used to the movement, to the further in progress through the whole levels. And also what is nice to mention, it is that mixture has its own custom fantasy world, which is drawn in the special style, which is also was thinking like in the special way to make this all performance features and problems that we can expect just well, and not trying to give the solution of some performance at the end of the project, but it was already drawn in such now styles, so not just expected at all. And yeah, basically skills that we have in our game divided into two categories, like basic skills that you received from the beginning of the game. It is like moving, defeating your enemies, crafting, and casting the mixtures. And also you have purchasable skills that you can just you can learn it and in our hub in the game, and you can just learn new combos, new attacks, way of the attacks for the knight. You can also upgrade your mixture, some of their possibilities, and basically you can just upgrade it, some such kind of the RPG element, but which works well. And in our game, as you can see already, I've mentioned, like the character has their own skill ability, which is have proposed for the specific action. So some need to move, some need to fight, and someone need to help to this movement and just make it possible, because in some ways you're just not available to pass some obstacle if you will not use the skills of the another character of the alchemist. And let's quickly talk about alchemies. Basically, you're playing with your two hand, and each hand has its own purpose. By the right hand, you can simply choose the mixture you want to create, to craft, and you're sending it. And the left hand is serves to the collecting the resources that laterally can be crafted for the mixtures. We have a bunch of mixtures, like six of them. They have different abilities. All of them are unoffensive, so they're just help. They help to the player to move through the environment. You can boost. You can just jump with the repeal, and you can just jump higher, or you can glue the enemy, so it will be just inactive. But basically, without the knight, all of these mixtures are simply, in most cases, useful against the enemies, because they do not have this attack offensive things and design. And the knight itself, it is the main engine of the moving, of the progressing through our level and through our game at all. You can find some different mechanics that are like common, like movement, like dashing, flying, and of course attacking the enemies with different combat scenarios. And basically, basically, as I mentioned before, you have a bunch of different combat, and you have a different type of the movement. Yeah, I forgot about slide and climb. Is also, you can face it on the level as a challenge, so you just need to pass it. And some of the climbs, for instance, could be blocked, which will not be passed without the help of the alchemist. And that's what I was talking when I was mentioning, like the combining mechanics and making the whole experience as the one piece. Because yeah, basically that's the screen of the one of the screen of the gameplay actions, and you can see that while our knight is just trying to get out of the enemies, the alchemists need to help him. So he need to maybe disable movement for some persons, and at the same time he need to focus on helping and boosting the skills of the mouth. So let me quickly show you a little bit of our gameplay, so you can just see how it looks in action. And yeah, like with the left hand we can collect all of the resources, and after that which will yeah, just create some mixtures and use them to fight the enemies. And each mixture has own abilities, as already mentioned. Some of them can free to be punch, just bump enemies. Some can be just disable their movement for a little bit, so you can just use it and get a moment to attack them. Yeah, so basically I just want to show the experience so a little bit you just can watch, and I will try to comment some most interesting elements of the gameplay. Basically, yeah, we have also a huge amount of enemies in our game. Like you have simple enemies and bosses, which we'll talk on the next slide. But the simple enemies are like, we have 11 different types of the enemies, which can provide you some struggles in the environment, and some of them are just combats that are attacking us and trying to kill us. And here I want to mention, as you probably already see, one of the also cool features that we learn during the game. So it's not like a basic skill, but you can learn it when shaking your bottles. It gives more biggest range of the action of these skills, and it's really important and useful in the cases when player just have a lot of enemies attacking him at the same time. And basically, yeah, most of the enemy battles in such arenas are divided in different just wave of the enemies. Each wave, of course, increasingly changes its difficult, and you can just have some rest between them just to collect your items. But as you also see, always in your camera, it's easily to gain some resources. It was also a big feature, and try to make it available so player just can focus on the playing for the two characters and not afraid of he has a lack of resources and he don't know how to he doesn't know how to craft new new mixtures. Uh, Basically, uh, yeah, I will just take this a minute to have also a drink. Yeah. Also, I choose this level also just for making some good reference, also for creating some combat arenas that are not really visually visible to player, but as you see you will just playing on the board that will just endless going to the end go, but yeah, after finishing all of the enemy waves you just go and pass the next part of the level. So it was also one of the case of the gating. And as I mentioned, we have bosses, and bosses in our game are just serving as test work. So every boss can, like every boss, reveals you a new type of mixture, which you can try to play, learn, and understand how to use it in the battlefield during the way on the next boss. Basically, we have 6 bosses, and we'll just quickly also show them. It is like the first Snake Guardian, which give us the rebel mixture. After which we can jump, so you can just interact with some world environment and just throw the mixture, and it will be available to the player to jump really high from that point that you throw that mixture. We also have Hermos Beast, and we will look also at the gameplay with him of battling him, and he also provides to the players a new mixture which can just crack all of that gems on the left side. You see that red gems before was just inaccessible, and player just cannot pass through them. And also for the replayability, he can meet them at some parts of the game, but unless he open this and review this mixture, they are just not accessible to him. Also we have an Octavia in the sea, which is also really interesting boss, and gives you another mixture. Quanda Spider is also was interesting, and it's really worth to mention that all of these bosses are self-scripted gameplay mechanics, so they're unique, and you can experience the unique way of passing this level. So you're really fighting with the boss in their environment, so they try to use the environment and the overall feeling of the level to the gameplay and to the story of themselves. You also have DESP, and you can see already some lasers that are provided to the game during the fighting this boss. And the last one is performed Hedgehog Knight. It's the last boss of the game, and after it, which the game is basically ends. And let's just quickly look at the one of the battles with the bosses. Can I ask you? Yeah, and I will just have also some time codes to show. I will just tell you which of them. Yeah, basically, as I mentioned, how all bosses are scripted in the specific way, and you can experience that just feeling these good moments when you're playing and feeling that you're playing against the boss. They also have like different waves on the enemies between their scripted gameplays. Yeah, it is one of the first bosses to be to be precise, it's second boss. But I also don't want to spoiler all of them, how to beat them, how to play against them. So I hope that you just enjoy it and try it by yourself. But yeah, at that moment of the game, you have only two available mixtures, and you need to avoid some of the attacks from the boss that he put on the ground, and just grab that moment when he want to attack you by his head, like it should be. Yeah, it should be right now. And when he will just go it, yeah, you can just glue and try to attack him. And may I ask you guys to move to the 2 minutes of this video? Actually, for the yeah. That's another way when you're just already fighting with him in some such way. You put him the damage, then you have like another available fighting with him. He tried to attack you with massive damage, and you have to cooperate with the game board in such a way that you need to use your enemies as an weapon. So you can just use the bump mixture and throw it to the enemy, like this the small. And after that, when you're attacking the enemy, it will just throw into the boss. And it's also a good way to learn things and to show that this cooperative gameplay, even with the game world, using these mixtures. And probably, as you already mentioned, the whole time you're using both of the characters, yeah, and it just couldn't be done when one of the characters just AFK. So yeah, just I guess I already talked about the time code, but the next one timestamp like 4:30, or it's already, yeah, it's 4:30, just to make it. I just want to show you how, yeah, when you fight in the boss and when you just beat him, we had also nice animations and quick dialogue of the boss, like his last words. And I think it's also just well worth to mention how it looks. And yeah, just need to finish with the last guy. Yeah, and that's basically the last stage of the fighting the boss. So throw in the bump mixture, attack the enemy, and one more time. Yeah, and actually that's the last was the last damage on the enemy. After we have, yeah, some signature of the game. It's also cool feature which we'll discuss or another programmer after me. But yeah, that's how like looks defeating the enemies. So basically, during the whole game, you just meet 6 of them and experience this feeling of playing against them. And let's talk about problems and challenges that we had during the development, and we did need to face and solve. As I mentioned at the beginning, like this Vestelbro system, sharp camera angle changes, all of that things we had to avoid. And also because of the complexity of the plan to the two characters at the same time, we also want to make player just focus on the gameplay, on the level, and just not trying to not disturbing anything through, despite that we have really huge worlds with fine monuments, assets that you can just explore and look. But while I was playing, the top-down camera was the best solution to use. So basically we're looking from the eyes of the alchemist, and in most cases the camera was put on the 1 meter above the night. So this smooth translation of the camera, like on the rails, was a great way to figure this problem out about fast traveling, because our night is really fast travel, but this smooth transition of the camera was helped, and also it was useful for the psychological thing, like moving uphill. So sometimes our knight can just go up and up because he's climbing, and after that, when he's really on the high and you maybe already almost lost him from your camera view, then the camera smoothly transited to the up, which also given the player that fine feeling of the elevation and uphill that I mentioned earlier today. Mm, and one of the last things that I want to talk about you today is testing. And what I really recommend is just to make that continuous iterations of your level and test, especially your design. And the best performance will be if you just use every time the new players, as like we as designers are probably the worst testers of our levels, because we know how to play it, we know how we design it, and it's really good experience just to have the new people from your team just to iterate your levels. So it will be the best feedback from the players who just don't remember or don't know at all how to play your game, and you can just get the best feedback from them. Also, before testing design, you need to also define like what definitely you want to test now. So like in the design, you can test the different things, like how many level just continues, how many player need to have time to pass your level, or how many time he dies, where he dies. So also just keep in mind that you're getting the best answers when you given the best questions. So it's also really important, and continuous iterations can afford you. So for instance, if you just iterate your levels like once per week, every week, so you can just move to the different areas and test, like now we just want to test only difficulty level, and another time we want to test the balance of the level, yeah, not the overall difficulty, but okay, this level could be easy, but do we really iterate and use all of the characters and all the possibilities? And yeah, as this is the main the last thing, it's about balancing. It's also we just need to try to be playing with one person, and if you can pass the level, well, okay, from the one side it's good, level is enjoyable and it could be passed, but on the second hand, you're not using all of these features that you're providing in your game, but by your own. And as the last, I want to just to share some of the tools that you can use, and what I'm asking from our programming department to have. It is, yeah, simple measurements of just when players click on the play button of the game, how many time it will pass to him to her finish, how many times and where he died, and also it is can be about path that player just done. You can just ask for some tools that will just measure how player moved through their world, what location maybe he avoided at all, and then you need to just back to that locations and try to redesign them to actually be attractive for the player. And the last one, it is about cooperations, like also can be a tool of measuring the delay time between you're using both of the characters. Yeah, so as I mentioned, to avoid the problems that the level could be really good, interesting, and you can play it, and you could not even notice that you're not playing for the multiple characters and for the cooperative. It is not the really thing to do, as already mentioned today. And basically, yeah, that's all. And I'm waiting for all your questions. Maybe you have some after such a presentation. Yeah, the microphone. It's one moment. It's already here.
Okay. Okay, hi.
Hello.
I have, I mean, two questions, but I have tried to make it one. You mentioned metrics. Can you give some examples, or just add a little more information about it? Because I'm really interested in how you can measure user experience in VR based on also as you mentioned just low assets, not low asset,
Like a high quality.
performance
Yes, like the
measure.
using of the
Yeah,
high quality art in the big
yeah.
amount of them. Yeah, so basically for the level mix, first of all, thank you for the question. And about level metrics, it depends on really your game setting. What do you need from your space? But it also just need to test, and some of the example, as I mentioned, of the Horizon Forbidden West, yeah, so where you had just in another way of building your level, so you need to climb on, you have smaller distances between some grip positions, like in the PC version you can just jump and using some dash between these grab points, and in the VR version, like the distance between these grabs was really smaller, so you can just to take it by your hand. So that's one of the things they provided, and also overall metrics like no width of your room. Just like in some games, you can use like this room and go in with the speed of some X speed, and it will be well. But this speed will be too fast to play in the VR. So you need to define to yourself: should you want to add more challenges on this way to not be so boring, or you need to just to make a little bit smaller this location with the speed of the like comfortable to the player. Hope I answered right.
Player feedbacks, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's
just
answer. No,
yeah.
some software where you can create a like heat map or something like this
No,
only.
like basically, yeah, it's just you need to experience it to
Okay,
feel good. So if it's just boring and it's long distance, so or you just adding more some challenges and ways to interact with this space that you have, or you just need to create some smaller spaces, yeah, to pass them.
thank you.
So thank you.
So my question is, wasn't it tempting to just decouple the camera to allow the player to make some free movements to admire the environment? Like besides the element that when the innovation changes, you are still decoupled, and you can, like for example, teleport every time in the area. You know, that's actually the mechanics I use in my solution that I'm
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah, the thing is that in our game you're not like we're not disabling the camera, so you're playing as an alchemist, so you can rotate your head in any direction you want. You just cannot move because yeah, moving it is from the night. And yeah, sure, like the teleport thing is it's the most common, like also the solution, and playing in the VR, and most of the games are just providing two types of the plane, so you can just choose, or you want to teleport through some points, or you can just continuously move in by your analog. And yeah, it's just one of the way to play and to choose, and it is really good practice to give the opportunity to the player, because some of them want to experience that gameplay mechanics, but it can be really tough for them to move through the level without teleports. So yeah, it's a great solution. That's one of the examples.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So yeah, so I guess that's the all. Thank you very much for attending this lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. We can also connect. You can join me, and you can just to discuss. As I told, I provided my blog when I just trying to post some quick posts, and hope just also always to exchange some knowledge with all of you. So thank you one more time, and have a nice day and nice event at all.